The Yankees met with Juan Soto today. They met with Juan Soto, and according to sources, it went very well. So none of the meetings that have gone poorly yet, Don.
It's like surgery.
Yeah, it went very well. Successful surgery. Right. Imagine if it leaked out, boy, was that a bad meeting. I mean, Aaron Boone vomited all over the table. I mean, think about it. It's so ridiculous. Obviously, it's Soto's people leaking it out to the writers that they trust. Oh, it went very well. Of course it went well. If you go into a meeting and you don't put your best foot forward, well, then what was the meeting about? But here's the thing that scares me. This is the news that's come out. You're going to laugh at the source of the news. Mm-hmm. Carlos Baerga is locked in when it comes to Latin players. He's just locked in. And he said on his X account that the Mets have offered Soto $660 million for 15 years. So, to the best of my calculations, that's about $47 million a year. So it's over the 46, which is what Ohtani's contract is worth. But knowing Scott, he's going to want it to be over 700 because no matter what it's worth, the benchmark now is the $700 million the Dodgers gave Ohtani, although it's just $2 million a year and then $68 million a year after the contract's over. But I will put it this way, and this is not something that Yankee fans are going to want to hear. I don't think the Yankees are going to go there. I don't. And then I've heard from somebody in baseball today that Cohen's willing to go $50 million over whatever anybody offers. So it looks like the Mets really want to get this guy. So every report I've seen is that there have been no offers made, but Baerga, who is usually locked into this stuff, says it's $660 for 15 years. I'm going to do the math myself, but somebody said that comes out to 47. But I think if it gets to that point, Don, I don't think a lot of teams are going to want to go there.
No, I don't think anybody will. I mean, do you think Toronto can go there?
I think Toronto might because they're desperate.
Yeah, but it just sounds like, all right, they'll match, and then the Mets will go and just give extra. It just it feels like it's inevitable. I mean, I'm not talking as a Met fan. I'm just talking as a realist. If Cohen wants it, he's going to get it.
660 by 15 is 44. I don't think that'll get it done. So it's probably by 14. 650.
Whatever gets it done, I would think Cohen's going to go there.
That was 47 if it's 14. But I don't think, this is just my gut feeling and a couple of people I spoke to today, I don't think he's going to be denied in terms of overbidding for someone. So I would think that if Juan Soto returns to the Yankees, then their gambit of making that trade for him, well, it paid off in one way, got them to the World Series, certainly played a large role, and that maybe he did fall in love with the experience and wants to come back. But if what I believe is that it's going to come down to who pays him the most money, I simply think that's going to be the Mets. I really do. So we'll see. We'll see. It seems like, okay, they've had these meetings, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Yankees, Mets. I get it. We'll see who makes the biggest offer. I think that's what it comes down to. Since all the meetings went well, of course, then there's nothing that was presented that was overwhelming. I think it's going to come down to how many zeros you put on that deal.
And it would make sense for Boris to just keep going back to the Mets and telling them, okay, this is what we have on the table. Can you match it or exceed it? And that's going to be the case. Why would you just keep going back to the richest owner and see how far he'll go? And then you get to a point, Michael, like what would be the point where Steve Cohen's going to tap out?
I don't think there is a point.
You would think whatever point that is, everybody else would have tapped out long before that. As much as the Blue Jays want him, Michael, it does become fiscally irresponsible to get to that point, even as rich as Rodgers is. Are they as rich as Cohen? I
think they might be.
I don't know.
Because, they are the team of Canada. So, I mean, they've got the wherewithal. And they supposedly made the same offer to Ohtani that the Dodgers did. So you got to fight the fact that, the Canadian taxes and the way the dollar is valued in Canada, stuff like that. But also from what I've heard is that, Soto wants to know, are you going to bring back Vlad Guerrero?
Because here's I don't know how rich Rodgers is. I know they're rich, but they make Canadian money. And they're going to pay Soto in American money.
Right.
So what is it, like 75 cents on the dollar? So, I mean, that's where these Canadian teams get in a lot of trouble. First of all, they get taxed to the hilt. That's number one. Number two, they make Canadian money, and they have to pay their players in American money, so it ends up becoming more of an albatross. So if they do have a bottomless pit, we'll see, because they've lost out on a lot, and that could be very big for them. They're the national team, and they're going to want to see if they can be competitive, but the money is it's going to be a lot for them to have to pay, and will they get it back in return? Because you've got to be able to get that back, and not just winning, but also the people coming to your building and being able to sell it on television and all that. And if all that money is coming to you in Canadian money, you're losing 25 cents on every dollar right there. So it becomes really difficult.
It's going to be interesting to see if the Mets outbid the Yankees, what Yankee fans will feel. I think they will feel angry at first, and if you're the Yankees, if you're Steinbrenner, and if you're Cashman, obviously you have to have a thick skin about it and then go out and execute your plan B. And, they've done it before. They lost Robbie Cano, and their plan B that year wasn't good. Their plan B was Ellsbury and McCann, and it didn't work out. So how's your plan B this year? Is it Santander? Is it Corbin Burns? Is it Max Fried? Is it Christian Walker? I don't know, because the Yankees can't go into next year losing Soto and not making a lot of signings. I think they will spread the $45 million that they might want to offer him, and they'll spread it around. You could probably get 3 players for that.
As far as the anger from Yankee fans, I think it really just comes down to two things. Do they believe that the Yankees could have matched or exceeded whatever the Mets?
Well, Yankee fans will say absolutely they can.
Well, I don't. But there could be a number where you're like, nah, I can get where that would be a problem.
Well, also, if it does come out that Cohen said I'll top anything by $50 million, then you got no chance.
Yeah, then you got it. Then of course, then it just becomes unrealistic, right? So then I think the Yankee fans could rally around the fact that the Mets bought them, they used their money, and now the attention will be on, all right, what do the Yankees now do? What do they pivot to? And their anger will be based upon how well those players they go out and execute on the field next year and the year after. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If they get caught holding the bag and don't replace any of their players, Michael, then they're going to be red hot. But I do think there is a number, or as you said, the fact that the Mets were not going to be denied, where how can the Yankee fan be upset? I mean, you have to understand, you're talking about a guy that's worth $20 billion. And all Hal Steinbrenner is worth is what the Yankees are if he sells them. Now, they make tons of money, no question, but they don't make that kind of money. It's not even a budget, Michael. There's a limit to what the Yankees can spend. It's more than most teams, but is it more than what Cohen has in reserve? It's not about what the Yankees are worth as opposed to what the Mets are worth. Then it would be no contest. But it's not beyond that. It's what the Yankees are worth and what they can spend to what Steve Cohen can spend.
Guys, I want to tell you something right now.
Do it.
The date is November 18th, 2024.
Understood.
Mike Tyson is no longer a threat in boxing. Aaron Rodgers can no longer play professional quarterback. And Juan Soto is not coming back to the New York Yankees.
You're saying that for sure.
That's right.
It's really hard to believe at this point.
How I'm feeling.
Where would you bet, Michael?
I would say it's unlikely. Because I just think that they're going to be fiscally responsible. Everybody, the Steinbrenners, I believe, the Steinbrenner family owns about 46% of the Yankees. So there's other people that have to sign off on this. It's not Steve Cohen owns 95% of the Mets. The Wilpons own the other 5. Yeah. He can spend whatever he wants.
What I think is kind of an interesting question is there an amount where a Met fan will go, ooh, man, we spent that much? Or is it just, hey, it doesn't matter, because he's got so much money that it's not like it's going to be the Wilpons, but because we gave Soto this money, we're playing bushers all over the field. I guess most fans will accept it and not care about the international money, not care about the draft picks, just get the best player available and spend. So I don't think they'll mind, Michael, but is there a number where even a Met fan will go, I wouldn't have paid that? I don't know.
I guess the only way they would say that is if it inhibits them from doing other things. I mean, their payroll right now, after all the money coming off, is $150. So even if you paid him $50 million a year, you could still stay under the Cohen tax and field the team.
Yeah.
So I would tell you this: if they're going to pay that kind of money for him, there's no way they're bringing back Pete Alonso. No way.
But is that because they can't afford him, or they just don't want him?
Well,
Because
they
it
could
sounds
say,
like they
listen,
could
we
bring him
spent
back.
$50 million for this guy. We're not spending $30 million for a first baseman. Now, it's kind of intriguing because Scott represents Alonso, too.
Right.
So if Soto wants to throw Scott a bone, he could say, I'm not signing unless you also sign Alonso. And it looks like Cohen would do anything. So I think that what this is going to come down to, of all the different participants that are involved, Cohen has the most bleep you money.
Right.
So if he loses money, he loses money. He doesn't care.
Right.
I don't think the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Red Sox have that kind of bleep you money. So if Soto ends up coming back to the Yankees, then maybe we misread the whole schematic, and that he does love it here and is willing to take not significantly less, but less. But that's not the way I'm reading it. I'm just not.
Now, that would be the X factor, right? That everybody misread it, that all along he wanted to stay with the Yankees and the money didn't matter, but it's hard to believe that would be on the table.
Well, you know
now,
what? It was with Judge. Judge had a lot more money out there.
That's true. But Boris wasn't his agent. Soto wasn't drafted by the Yankees, so I'm not getting that kind of same feel. Now, Vientos moves to first if Alonso's gone. He would pay $30 million for a first baseman. Would he pay $30 million for a third baseman? How much would Bregman cost?
Bregman, I think, will cost about $27 a year.
All right, so
and they might go after Adames. Adames said he'd play third.
Yeah, but that would be strategic more so than it would be financial. Like, we can't afford Alonso. No, I don't want to pay $30 million for a first baseman, but I'll pay $27 for a third baseman. So it's really it shouldn't preclude them to go out there and improve the team. It just might come at the expense of Alonso, just from an X's and O's standpoint. Not, we can't afford to pay him. We just don't want to pay him. Now, if you lose him, if lose Soto, don't get him, then could there just be a bone you're throwing to the fans by bringing Alonso back?
Yes. See, I think that fans want Alonso back because he's a homegrown Met, and he'll have the home run record if he stays even one more year. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they look at him as their type of player. And to give him that kind of money at the age of 30, it doesn't make sense to David Stearns. So if you get Soto, I think that frees them from the responsibility of having to throw a bone at the fans. If they don't get Soto, I think there's a chance that the Mets would then pivot and bring back Alonso and other pieces. But I think in a perfect world, Alonso is not the perfect player for David Stearns. He's just not. And I also don't think there's any way the Yankees would pivot and go for Alonso. There's no way they need a right-handed 30-year-old home run hitter who doesn't play great defense. There's just no way they go that route. I can't see it happening.
What I would say then, if he's not your player, then he's not your player. Don't worry about what the fans think. Still move Vientos to first and go sign Bregman to play third or Adames to play third. So why should you let the fans get in your ear? If you don't believe Alonso makes your team better and it's not about the money, then why should you be swayed by what the fans want?
Because I think Cohen does care about that. Just getting the sense, I think he cares about it.
Yeah, maybe,
I don't think he should, but I think he does.
It is going to be fascinating, and what's left. Imagine if there's a world where neither the Yankees or the Mets get him.
I think if the Yankees don't get him, I don't think they would care one iota if the Blue Jays got him or the Dodgers got him. I think they'd care if the Red Sox got him. But if you don't get him, right, and the Mets get him, and you got to look at him for 15 years, that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
It'll make for a fun Subway series, though.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And Soto would go from one of the most beloved Yankees to one of the most hated.
Let's go to Dean in Connecticut. Dean.
Yes, thank you for the call.
You got it.
Hey, just thinking, of all the knowledge I'm talking to right now, if it's pretty close in the bidding, I would think that Soto would look out next 15 years, 10 years of his life and walk out to right field and look at that porch and know the numbers he can put up in history because of that batting. I mean, he can go somewhere and do something, but that you look at that, what Roger Maris made in his lifetime with that porch, and he could look out at that and just say, the Yankees are always going to try. Why not stay in New York?
I will respectfully push back, Dean. He's not a dead pull hitter. Most of his power is to left center to right center. So I don't think that Yankee Stadium particularly benefits him. It doesn't hurt him. $399 the left center might hurt him a little. So left field at Citi Field is a lot shorter. Right field's deeper. So I don't think the short porch plays a big role unless he changes the way he hits. Now, he's such a brilliant hitter, he could decide to, I'm going to pull the ball all year, and he might have 65 home runs and then hit 250. I mean, he's that good of a hitter if he made that choice. But he's a line-to-line hitter that a lot of his power does go to left center and center. So I don't think Yankee Stadium is the perfect fit for him in that sense.
But that's the hope, right? Because I think at this point, if you're talking about the money, then the Yankees might not have an advantage. They do have an advantage because of the building and because of the mystique and the aura and all those things that Curt Schilling talked about back in 2004. But does that play here? I mean, I know the fans think that way, but does that play? That's your best hope, is that it does.
I don't
think it does. It's all just a smoke screen, Peter, and he fell in love with the Yankees, and he's going to try to get as much money out of them, and he'll end up going the Judge route.
How about this? I don't even think, not only do I not think the lore or anything of the Yankee Stadium appeals to him, even if the short porch did appeal to him, I think he cares about the money more than the numbers.
And I also believe, Peter, that he has such unerring belief, and he should, in his hitting ability. It doesn't matter where he plays.
Yeah, he exactly.
He played Yellowstone Park.
I need the short porch to hit home runs. He doesn't think of himself that way.
And remember when Machado went to San Diego?
Machado, I believe.
Why would he go there? Poverty franchise. How's it look now?
Not too bad.
Right. So I'm sure Soto probably feels like, you know what, they'll become a winner the second I sign there.
Yeah, I think he has the utmost belief in himself, and he should. Let's go to Moose in Jamaica. Moose.
Evening, Michael, Don, and Peter. How are we?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Can't complain. Chilling. This call is more for Peter on the lighter side. I just want to hear 45, 47 ring off these nicknames of endearment for Carlin.
Nicknames of endearment for Carlin. I like how you put that. All right, what do you got? Give me one. I'll write it down.
First is Boba Fett Carlin.
That's not going to work. All right, I'm writing it down. What's the next one?
What was it? Cookie Monster Carlin.
Yeah, Moose, these are good. But thank you, by the way. Those are just off Bobo set. What does that mean?
Boba Fett.
Oh, that's also
it's
trouble.
a Star Wars thing.
You never heard of Boba Fett?
No, I haven't watched a second of Star Wars, and I don't plan to. But first of all, it's not even alliterative. What was Moose doing?
That part you're right for. But you not knowing Boba Fett.
It was horrifying.
But just living in the world, these are things that you should just pick up. Like, you know what a stormtrooper is, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that you don't pick up, and I don't jump you about it.
Well, yeah, you usually do.
All right, I'll take that back. I do jump you about it.
Thank you.
No, I'm saying it's Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
So even listen, I really admire the fact that you've decided not to watch this, to be that guy. I love it. But just being on Earth, Stormtrooper, Darth Vader.
Yeah, I've never heard of Boba Fett.
No, but it's not Bobo Fett. It's Boba Fett.
It's Boba
Fett. What is it, like a gum in Star Wars? What is that?
No.
Speaking of Star Wars, we do have to send out birthday wishes today. I hope you guys have already texted him.
Ryan
Rucco's birthday.
I didn't know that, but when you said, speaking of Star Wars.
I'm on it.
I knew it was going to be Ryan Rucco. Those were really... I feel bad because he's a lovely guy, that caller, but Boba Fett Carlin or Cookie Monster
Where's the alliteration?
Carlin?
That's what makes 45, 47 work.
It's so bad, you don't do it.
No, we have good ones already. Come on.
Corpulent Carlin. I mean, stuff like that. Come on, Moose. Be better.
Come on.
We're doing a show here.
Yeah, we're trying to entertain the people.
Don't just throw up a dunk, toilet paper in a toilet and then throw it up against the wall, see what sticks. That's not what we do here.
No, you got to. If you want a new nickname for Carlin that you think should be passed on to the former and future president, you got to bring something really good.
There's a fat Carlin.
Yeah.
Chubby Carlin.
Morbidly obese Carlin. That's what we call it. It doesn't work that way.
Cholesterol Carlin. That works.
Cholesterol Carlin made sense.
And
what were some of the other ones from that day? We had a bunch that were really good.
Really good. And I'm sorry, Moose just brought it down, and I can't accept that. We put a lot of time and effort into planning this show.
Yeah.
I'm so disgusted. I don't even
Colossal Carlin.
Right.
That works.
He's
what else?
so big.
Yeah. Anything else? Calorie Carlin. So many calories in a day. It's close. See? Not great.
Wow. I don't know what to say. John in Rochester.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Peter, go Commanders. Let's get a couple more wins under our belt.
Certainly need one on Sunday.
Yes. Michael, is Santander a good enough outfielder to play left field in Yankee Stadium?
He's not a great defender. Probably best suited to play in right.
So would that mean putting Judge back in left field or letting him still play center?
I don't think he's going to play center. I don't think that's the wise move to make. I think the only way he might play center is if they re-sign Soto. Maybe he plays center for another year, or they put Dominguez in center. You know, there's rumors out there that the Yankees might have interest in Byron Buxton of the Twins, who is a phenomenally talented player who can't stay on the field. Just can't stay healthy. Makes a lot of money and can't stay healthy, but when he's on the field, he's as good as any player in baseball. I don't think he's played over 100 games in the last 7 years. So you'd be getting, Stanton 2.0. But when he plays, he's exciting. He's an exciting player. But listen, we don't know what Plan B is. Let's see where Soto ends up, and then they have to exercise Plan B. That's the way it works.